You're watching K34QB, Vail, Colorado.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to your Thursday, January 2nd edition of Good Morning Vail. I'm your in-studio host, Julio Garcia. Happy New Year to everyone. It is the second day of 2025, and today we're going to be taking a look back at some of our most viewed segments with recurring guests. Now, these are guests that are on the show regularly and that come on and share all of their expertise. So we're going to have Bill Humbert, the recruiter guy, as well as stunning and brilliant events, Vail Valley Partnership, of course, and then Museum at Dinosaur Junction. We love having all of these people and community members on the show, and today we're going to take a look back at some of those most viewed episodes. So grab your cup of coffee, sit back, and enjoy as we kick off this Thursday, January 2nd edition of Good Morning Vail, which starts right now.
Things to see and do. Summer, winter, spring, or fall. Your home in the Rockies has it all. So get up, get ready to start your day. The coffee's brewing, you're on your way. The fun is waiting outside your door. Good morning, Vail.
This weather report is sponsored by Grand Hyatt Vail. Escape the cold and embrace the après-ski vibes at the Grand Hyatt Spa, where you'll find tranquility rooted in traditional alpine wellness.
Lens of the Day is brought to you by Eyepieces of Vail and Goggle Bar.
It's time for Lens of the Day, sponsored by Eyepieces of Vail. Eyepieces of Vail has locations in Basalt, Snowmass, Vail, Lions Head, Beaver Creek, and Edwards for all of your eyewear, and in this case, helmet needs. Today we're going to talk about the Smith Nexus. Now, there's been a lot of new technology that has taken place in some of these helmets. This is no exception to that. The helmet has 22 different vents, so it offers, a lot of comfort, whether the temperature you're skiing in is cold or a little bit warmer. So all throughout the season, this helmet is a perfect option for you. It's also got MIPS, which most helmets now are getting the MIPS, that multi-impact protection that allows you the mobility of the helmet, so when you hit or take a direct impact, it inflects it around so you don't feel a direct force. A new technology that's built into this helmet is Choroid. Now, Choroid is a series of tubes that also impact direct forces. So that allows the injury not to be sustained to the person wearing it, but to be impacted throughout the helmet. You'll see some of the impact joints right here, similar to what you see on some of the new NFL helmets, to where it takes that force off of who is going to receive it and disperses it throughout the helmet. What a great product this is, and it's so durable. This is something that is going to last season after season. So Smith has great technology. The Choroid is something new that they're building in the helmets. You partner these with some Smith goggles, and you've got the best technology to allow for a very safe and enjoyable day on the mountain, whether you're snowboarding or skiing. It's going to offer everything that you want. Eyepieces of Vail, great partner here at TV8 and Good Morning Vail. Make sure you visit one of their local areas, whether you're in Basalt, Snowmass, Vail, Lions Head, Beaver Creek, or here in Edwards.
Good morning, Vail.
Did you know that all Eagle County residents and visitors can get a free Eagle Valley Library District card? All you need is a photo ID. You get our online databases and resources, free music, free streaming, all from wherever you have internet access. Free audiobooks and e-audiobooks straight to your phone. Go into your Eagle Valley Library District branch today and get your library card.
Good morning, Vail.
Welcome back to Good Morning Vail, everyone. Now, one of our recurring guests this year was Bill Humbert, the recruiter guy. We often have the chance to talk with him all things recruiting, job hunting, and today he's talking to us about how to find the perfect job. Let's take a look.
Is attracting talented candidates important to your company? It sure is, and we've got the expert Bill Humbert from Recruiter Guy joining us. He is the Recruiter Guy. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning, Maddie. How are you today?
I'm wonderful and always excited to learn from an expert such as yourself. So let's talk about why having talented candidates is so important.
Well, first of all, they're the ones that make the difference between your company disrupting an industry or having a problem meeting your goals and, making money, period. And most companies have transitioned from newspaper ads to attract candidates. And unfortunately, they moved to the job boards. And the reason I say unfortunately is job boards are nothing more than automated newspaper ads. So my clients have begun to transition to talent attraction. And I created the talent attraction process back in 1993 on a recruiting contract with MCI Telecommunications. And within 1 year, from January 1st of 93 to December 31st of 93, we had to recruit a minimum of 120 IT professionals to Cedar Rapids, Iowa. And there were only 3 IBM mainframe shops in Cedar Rapids. The largest one by 2 times was already MCI. And the second one was an insurance company. I couldn't recruit those people because it's a different culture. And the third one only had 18 programmers, but I heavily stole from them. I only took 9 of their 18. Anyway, I ended up creating a strategy, and the strategy was to interview candidates the last 2 weeks of every month. We would interview 18 to 24 candidates per day, make hiring decisions every night, and start the process all over the next day, and did that for 2 weeks in a row. And where did I get my candidates? Primarily from networking. The managers that we recruited wanted to recruit their people that already worked for them, and we relocated, well, only about 45 of the candidates out of 220 lived in the Cedar Rapids area. So we had to not only recruit but also relocate all of them, and it was primarily done through networking.
That's incredible. What an accomplishment. Now, how did you attract so many wonderful candidates?
Well, Maddie, you know, when you think about it, understand the needs of people. And they want confidence that when they make that job change, they will find a company that will treat them well, and the managers will treat them well. And my managers, I coach them to network with people that they worked with in the past that they wanted to hire and bring them to Cedar Rapids and work in Cedar Rapids. Now, the nice thing about Cedar Rapids, back in those days, it was a very safe town. Had great education. It was great for the kids, and most of the time I recruited people who already lived in Iowa at one point, and they were the ones that were excited to come.
Now, why were so many people attracted to this job opportunity in Cedar Rapids?
Well, think about it. In those days, 1992, 1993, MCI was amazing. It was fun to work with. They created friends and family, where if you recruited other members of your friends or your families to their long distance service, you would get an extra discount. And they were killing AT&T in long distance, and Sprint they weren't even in the game anymore. And with that, and then 1-800-COLLECT, 1-800-COLLECT took AT&T's collect call business to the showers. So it's fun to work with a company like that who really understands marketing. They understands how to treat people. There were administrative assistants who went to work for MCI when they first started, who became millionaires when they went public. So it was a great company to work for, and people knew it. And that's how I attracted so many people.
And then, of course, can you give us a quick recap on how you became so successful so quickly?
Well, first of all, I have a knowledge of people and with their needs, and that's really important. And secondly, I expected success in the recruiting process because I'd been there before. I was recruiting for 13 years by then. And the other thing is, I had an amazing culture at MCI, amazing managers, and you'll find that recruiting mirrors the sales process. And if you, and look at this, I got the wrong one up. If you will go to scan this, you'll see that recruiting mirrors the sales process perfectly. And that'll take you and it'll show you how the two compare. So this is the way I recruited and was successful. And this is the way other companies can succeed too.
Now, Bill, if people would like some more information or maybe the opportunity to chat with you, where can they go to have that?
It's very easy. On that QR code down below it, it's recruiterguy.com contact, and that's how you'll be able to get to my calendar and find a time that's convenient for you, and then just connect with me.
Bill, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us, giving us all this great information, and always sharing your level of expertise with all of us. That way everyone can find the perfect candidate and the perfect job.
Thank you, Maddie. It's great. I enjoy being here.
Make sure that you check out recruiterguy.com. That way you can get all this wonderful information and you can have the opportunity to chat with Bill himself. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we've got more of the show, so don't go anywhere.
Good morning, Vail.
Hello, my name is Jeffrey Morgan. I'm with Ron Byrne & Associates. And today I'd like to welcome you to Mine House and Mi Casa, a premier bed and breakfast right here at the base of Beaver Creek Mountain. Let's go inside.
This property is currently being run as a bed and breakfast with 20 bedrooms, all with ensuite bathrooms. Right now we are standing in Mi Casa, and next door we also have Mine House. A wonderful opportunity to own a turnkey hospitality business, but it's also an opportunity to own it as a private residence. It can be sold all as one or in individual pieces, however you choose.
So now that we've had a chance to show you these two amazing properties, Mi Casa and Mine House,
We would love the opportunity to show you in person. Give us a call.
Are you suffering from altitude sickness, a hangover, or just need to boost your overall wellness? Vail IV Wellness and Recovery is here for you, providing mobile IV therapy in the Vail Valley and its surrounding areas. Treatments are administered by registered nurses under physician direction in the privacy of your own home, office, or hotel room. We offer IV vitamin shots, supplemental oxygen, and more. Each treatment is specifically designed to meet your individual needs. Go to vailivtherapy.com for more information and to schedule your treatment.
Searching for Colorado homes, chalets, or condos? Owning real estate at a world-class ski resort is a dream for many. Waking up in the morning and catching first tracks from your private home is a one-of-a-kind experience. When one of the world's most admired companies puts its name on a real estate sign, that's a sign buyers and sellers want to see. Berkshire Hathaway Home Services is built for a new era in residential real estate. Your forever real estate agent is there in every step of the process. Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Colorado Properties. For you, for life.
I had to pack up all my things. I had to leave my home. And I never knew where I was going next. It felt like I never even had a say. But then you came along.
Change a child's story. There's a child in foster care waiting for a volunteer like you. Learn how you can help at casaforchildren.org.
Good morning, Vail.
We are back with more here on Good Morning Vail, and another one of our regulars this year was Alex Bradshaw with stunning and brilliant events. She's always got all the tablescapes, all the decorations to take your events to the next level. Let's take a look.
Good morning, Vail.
Are you planning a great event, maybe a wedding, maybe a graduation party? Well, then I have found the perfect wedding planner or event planner for you. This is Alex Bradshaw, and she's with Stunning and Brilliant Events. Good morning, Alex.
Good morning, Maddie. Thank you so much for having us on with you today.
Thank you so much for being here, only because what you do is so rewarding, but people don't understand how challenging, because your attention to detail is phenomenal.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. Yes, I feel like there is so much that we do that people don't realize. You know, we're behind the scenes, and that's kind of our job, but it's our job to also make sure that everything goes off without a hitch. So that's what we pride ourselves on.
Which is incredible, and you have a fantastic event planning background. So anyone who works with Alex, you're going to be in the utmost wonderful hands. She's going to take the best care of you. But people don't understand what you do as you're getting closer to the wedding. So let's kind of break it down.
Absolutely. So 30 days out, well, it also depends on which package you choose. But starting 30 days out, we like to make sure that we have all of the personal information, all of the personal items from the planner, or I'm sorry, from the couple themselves. So anything that they want to make sure that they have at the wedding, we start to gather all of that. We start to touch base with all of the vendors, make sure that their contracts are all settled, make sure that they have all the details that they need as far as our layout, our timeline, all of those final details, you know. So that's about 30 days out. As we get closer in, you know, day before, that's like gearing up the Saturday before the Super Bowl, you know, everybody's getting pumped, everybody's ready to get going. But we want to make sure that as soon as vendors arrive on site for the venue day before, that we are also there. We want to get as much set up as we possibly can day before. And so that we can just plug and play on wedding day, you know. So day before, we want to meet with the officiant, we want to meet with the couple, we want to meet all of the bride and groom's special people, you know, their moms, dads, their bridal party, their groomsmen, to make sure that they're all on cue, to make sure that they know exactly what we're doing. We'll run through rehearsal. And we just get to share so much information with them so that they are stress-free and so that they're ready. We have a bridal agenda that we like to give out so that they have all of our information, all of our contact information, all of the travel plans, you know, if there's any organized transportation from venue to reception or anything like that, we want to make sure that we have all of that and make sure that they know all of that information so that we are ready to rock and roll.
And so the key word that you just said as you went into all of this was packages. People have different price points that they can choose from because planning a wedding is not always the most cost efficient.
Exactly.
And especially depending on where you're doing it.
Right.
But if you are someone who needs the extra help, you guys offer a way to make it convenient and accessible to everyone.
Absolutely, yes. And we have different price points, like you mentioned. We have different options, you know, so if you want somebody to be there to hold your hand and you just want to show up and say, I do, we can absolutely do that. But if you want to be a little bit more hands-on, we have the capability to work you into all of the planning. I mean, it's your wedding, so we want to make sure that you have exactly what level of planning that you're comfortable with and that you want to be involved with. So we can offer a lot to all.
Which I think is so wonderful because sometimes I think people forget the details that go into a wedding, from napkin selection to making sure the tables show up and the cloths are on them, to the placemats being perfect.
Absolutely.
And so those are things that you guys take care of as you're ramping up and getting closer to the wedding.
Yes, yes. So day of comes around and that's what we're doing, you know. So we're setting up everything day before, but day of comes, morning of day of. We love to send a little text to the bride and groom, you know, happy wedding day, let's get ready to have some fun. And then as we continue throughout the day, we are making sure that all of the vendors are on time. We're making sure that they have everything set up that they need. We want to make sure that everybody is stress-free. We want to take on as much responsibility as we possibly can. And so day of, we come staffed. It's not just me showing up by myself. You know, we're going to have teams of up to 6 people depending on how big the event is, so we can divide and conquer for sure. And we always come staffed with our emergency kit. So we've got anything from bobby pins, Tide pins, to we even carry hot glue guns in there. You never know what you're going to need, you know? We actually used a hot glue gun once to make a tie. We had a groomsman show up that didn't have his tie. We cut up a silk napkin, folded it together, and made it into a tie. And you would have never known the difference. So,
oh my goodness.
Yeah, so we come prepared for everything. But we also, day of, want to make sure that the bride and groom eat, you know. There are so many, I feel like you hear all the time that somebody that's already married talking to somebody that's engaged, and they're like, oh, well, you're not going to eat any of that food, so don't worry about it, you know. No, we want to make sure you eat. The ceremony is over. We have drinks in hand. We have appetizers in hand for you to take to your pictures. We make sure that if you want a private dinner before you head back to the group of everyone, we can absolutely schedule that into the timeline as well. And as the ceremony wraps up, we're packing up to-go boxes to put in your car to send with you so that you get to eat all of that good, delicious food that you got to pick out for yourselves, you know?
That you spend so much time working on
so much
tasting.
Time and stress. Yeah, so we want to make sure that you get to eat it and enjoy the drinks and enjoy the company as well.
Which is really important. And another thing that I hear a lot of bride and groom say is they didn't get to spend enough time with the significant other. So that private dinner really makes a huge difference.
Right, absolutely. Oh yes. And whether that's just the bride and groom, they want to like sneak about 5 minutes to themselves, you know, they just got married. There's something to say for that, of course. So you want to like be able to cherish that time together. Or, like I said, if you want to have a couple other people invited into that private dinner, we can absolutely make that happen as well. Of course, everybody at your wedding, of course, you invited them, so you want them to be there to enjoy with you, but sometimes there's just a few that you want to hold that moment and cherish with.
Which I think is so special and so endearing for people, and especially as we have such a beautiful summer season here.
Absolutely.
And so if someone is maybe like, all right, we're going to kind of do a shotgun wedding, we're going to do this quickly, is that something you guys can also help them with?
Oh, absolutely. We'll do anything from elopements to shotgun weddings, you know, so we can do it all for sure.
Which makes it definitely entertaining, and we're in such a beautiful area for people to kind of last minute decide that maybe they want to get married on top of Beaver Creek. Maybe they want to get married by Nottingham Park. We have so many great natural backdrops for people to enjoy, but then we also have a lot of wonderful venues. Now, if someone wants to do one of our big venues that we have here that are very popular, that you need a little more preparation for.
Right, yes. And so that would just be organizing with the venue, making sure they have the date available and all of that. But we've got another great thing about hiring a planner is we've got contacts in our back pocket, you know, so you never know when you're going to need somebody, and we'll be there to pull on those strings for you.
Those back pocket cards are really an essential key to living. Now, if people are interested in booking you for a wedding, or maybe graduation is right around the corner, so let's quickly talk about if someone needs a last-minute graduation party planner.
Yes, so I would love to help with any graduation parties. We will coordinate, you know, if you're going to college, next steps, we can get that in there for you. We can put the school's colors in there, you know, we could do cakes, balloons, invitations, tablescapes, whatever venue you want to choose, whether that's your backyard or somewhere like Beaver Creek, you know, we can make that happen.
Which I think is so important, and especially since, you know, everyone's like, it's off season, we're settling down. We are not.
No, we are not settling down, no. Summer's right around the corner, and so with that comes wedding season, and that can continue through the rest of the seasons here, so.
Now, if someone wants to book you to have you help plan one of their fabulous events, what's the best way for them to get in contact with you, and what does the beginning process look like?
So the best way to get in contact with me would be our website, stunningandbrilliantevents.com, or my direct number, 970-431-6644. And to get that process started, we'll have a phone call, we'll have a meeting, maybe we can go and grab some coffee somewhere, and we'll talk about what your vision is. You know, I always love to put together mood boards after that initial conversation to send that to you, to be like, is this what you're looking for? And we can adjust from there, and kind of just piece together all of the details. You know, I would start planning immediately if you decide that is something that you would want to do, and we can get started.
Alex, thank you so much for taking the time to be here. Give us all this great information. One more time, what's the website?
stunningandbrilliantevents.com.
Alex, thank you.
Thank you, Maddie.
If you are looking for a great party planner, a great event planner, well, then you want to make sure that you check out Stunning and Brilliant Events and contact Alex, because she's here, she's local, and she'll do the best job possible. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we've got more Good Morning Vail.
Good morning, Vail. Good morning, Vail.
When it comes to real estate, timing is everything. Whether you're looking for a new home in the Vail Valley or selling your current residence, you need agents you can trust. You need a team with a wealth of knowledge on the local community, current market trends, and the entire buying and selling process. You need the expertise of Kathy Cole and Christy Long with Coldwell Banker Mountain Properties. Contact them today to discuss your real estate needs.
Ice Castles is an awe-inspiring, must-see winter phenomenon that brings fairy tales to life. Squeal with delight as you race down one of the exhilarating ice slides, explore ice caverns, and get lost in a frozen maze. Squeeze through the incredible crawl tunnels and discover elaborate ice sculptures hand-carved by local and international artists. Experience Ice Castles in Eagle. Visit icecastles.com for more information and to purchase your tickets.
Discover the perfect blend of style and performance in your eyewear at Eyepieces. With convenient locations in Vail Village, Lions Head, Beaver Creek, Edwards, Basalt, and Snowmass, Eyepieces is the destination for luxury eyewear and high-performance optics. From iconic brands to the latest in sport frames and snow goggles, we have the eyewear to match your mountain lifestyle. Plus, we offer prescription lens services, including eye exams, custom lenses, and prescription goggles for your mountain adventures. Visit us today to experience the art of vision. Eyepieces, serving the Vail Valley's vision needs for over 40 years.
Good morning, Vail.
Thanks for sticking with us here on Good Morning Vail. You know we love having Chris Romer and the Vail Valley Partnership here on the show regularly. And we get to hear directly from Chris how the Vail Valley Partnership and how it began and how it came to be what it is today. Let's hear from Chris a little bit of history about the Vail Valley Partnership.
Welcome back to Good Morning Vail. I have on the couch with me Mr. Chris Romer, President, CEO of the Vail Valley Partnership. Now, before we get started, Chris, for those viewers that have no idea about the Vail Valley Partnership, let's go back and talk about what you do, and then there's a big celebration coming up. We can go back from the inception, how everything was formed, and bring us to today.
Yeah, so gosh, we have limited time today.
I know.
To cover 60 years of history, Kevin. The Vail Valley Partnership was formed in 1964, in September of 1964. So as you said, we're celebrating our 60th anniversary. We'll talk a little bit more about that. But we were formed as the Vail Resort Association. As the Vail Resort Association, to be that unified voice of the business community, to help the business community in Vail 2 years after the mountain opened. Business leaders said, we need a business association that represents our interests, that represents the voice of businesses, that provides the connections, that helps bring people together as we grow this community, as we grow this resort. Interestingly, that happened 2 years before the formation of the town of Vail. So the forefathers of our community, of Vail specifically at the time, found it more important to have a business association representing business interests than they did a local municipal government. Wow. Kind of interesting.
Very interesting,
right? So
yeah.
Ski Resort, 1962.
Yeah.
Chamber of Commerce, Vail Resort Association, 1964. Town of Vail incorporated in 1966. Wow. So a little bit of a history there. You know, and we, as I get in my DeLorean and hit 88 miles an hour and go back to September of 1964, which was well before my time. But that's how we started, and that was the genesis, and it was to provide a voice for businesses. It was to provide visitor information, to service guests, to be a welcome center, to be that ability for people to connect, for businesses to band together, to have a voice of what they wanted to see with the growth of the community. So yeah. We've come a long way in that time, but gosh, what a fun story.
Well, and I have to say too, in being in the Valley the last 15 years, mission accomplished. I mean, the Vail Valley Partnership has done such a wonderful job bringing the community together, bringing businesses together, but the reach out to bring guests into the Valley via different marketing and campaigns that are being done. The Eagle County Air Alliance that has also created flights and traffic patterns into the Valley to sustain all these great businesses. mission accomplished.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Yeah.
It's we're not gonna hang that banner yet because there's still a lot of work to do. But I do appreciate the sentiment, and you're right. I think that when you look at an organization like Vail Valley Partnership, which is a not-for-profit governed by a volunteer board with professional staff, gosh, we've grown a lot from those early days of morphing into the Visitor and Tourism Bureau, into the Convention and Visitors Bureau, adding services, like you said, from group sales to central reservations back in the 80s and 90s, before the internet, adding programs like the Lodging Quality Assurance Program in the late 90s to give a unified rating system for all of our vacation rentals and condominiums, in the past, say, 20 years or so, since we've been and become Vail Valley Partnership, which was in 2007, almost 20 years ago. Much more of a voice in regional advocacy, much more of a voice in economic development, much more of a voice in things like the creation of the Eagle Valley Transportation Authority and Core Transit, bringing flights in through the EGE Air Alliance, is starting the CareerWise Youth Apprenticeship Program to have a real workforce focus to help address the needs of the business community and the workforce, and those talent pipelines for kids to be able to have career pathways when they want to stay in Eagle County. The organization today is completely different than it was 60 years ago. And I don't know that the people who formed the organization then could have envisioned being a true county-wide organization. The airport obviously didn't exist then.
Right.
A number of things that we know today didn't exist at that point. I-70 wasn't even an idea. And we've really morphed to meet the needs and continue to meet the needs of what the community needs. So
Right.
it's a fun evolution.
Well, and it's more than just support, Chris. It's an enrichment too. You bring in guest speakers to talk to the community about different things going on. You're out there really kind of helping the individuals. You talked about the job programs to try to get, and advocate for the valley and local businesses from a political standpoint, looking at all the bills, the rental management things that are coming out, how things that are going to affect the Eagle Valley or the Vail Valley here, not just from us who live here, but the guests that come here. It benefits everybody.
Yeah, we have a lot of programs, a lot of speaker series. We're bringing in the state demographer next week, and if you haven't seen the state demographer, please join us on Monday. She's wonderful. She'll talk about the past and the forecast for the future in terms of demographics and population growth and job sectors and all types of different things. So it would be of interest to any business owner or business manager and any interested member of the public to see what is Colorado's growth forecasted to be, what is Eagle County's growth forecasted to be, and where are our gaps. So we do try to fill that niche and understand what business owners need to know, be the voice at the state capitol. In Colorado, about 80% of the bills that get introduced are passed. And some of them are very good and helpful. And some of them are less so.
Right.
So we want to be able to support the ones that are helpful, and we want to be able to raise concerns and oppose the ones that might be detrimental. And we saw that happen through the recent property tax negotiations that occurred, and I think they got to a really good place. But it took the voice of business, it took the voice of special districts, it took the voice of schools, all working together to make sure our legislators understand the impact.
It took the voice of reason to kind of get in there and just explain all the different variables that come into play.
Yeah, because the levers of government, again, it's not all bad. There's a lot of good that happens at a state level, from workforce funding and regional talent summits and infrastructure and funding CDOT and some of the improvements that we're seeing on the I-70 corridor. Grants, we have $1 million grant from the federal government for the airport to help bring in the new service from Seattle and San Diego. We have, so there's some really good stuff that happens. But sometimes they want to do these one-size-fits-all feel-good things that have real detrimental impact on how businesses operate. So we want to be able to support the good ones and raise concerns and oppose the bad ones.
Yeah. Well, and again, it's enriching. It's letting the voters know exactly what they're looking at, because sometimes there's little hidden gems in there that need to be uncovered.
Yeah, and we have a ballot guide that comes out during every election cycle. That ballot guide will come out in the next week or so for this November's election, and it's a nonpartisan voters guide. It doesn't endorse candidates. It talks about the issues that are on the ballot. And I think we have 13 or 14 state ballot initiatives, and we'll be voting on things like trophy hunting, and we'll be voting on things like ranked choice voting. And whether or not you think those things are good or you think those things are bad, our ballot guide will provide exactly what it is you're voting on.
Right.
Because sometimes it's, gosh, those questions can be a little tricky.
Yeah.
Vote yes and rub your head while shaking your left arm and moving your right big toe if you mean this. Right. And they write the ballot language sometimes in ways that is very, it's tricky and it makes it hard to understand. So we try to provide those nonpartisan guides that help people get to the real crux of it.
That's great. That's very much appreciated by the voters. Well, thank you, Chris. Congratulations. A lot to be proud of. We'll be right back with more Good Morning Vail.
Good Morning Vail.
The season starts when Nate Dogg, Trailer Tom, and friends have started the season at Farming.
There it is, the white ribbon of living.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And on that very first chair, two very familiar faces who've been in line for 2 days.
My name is Nate Dogg, N-A-T-E, D-O-G-G-G-G.
My name is Trailer Tom.
Nate Nadler and Tom Miller live nearby.
I feared nothing but not getting first chair.
Second chair nightmare.
Yeah, second chair nightmare.
My goal is to continue to fight for this first chair as long as I'm physically able. First chair coming at us one more year.
Experience the magic of the season like never before with the Leadville Railroad on our Holiday Express. Gather the family for an enchanting journey filled with dazzling displays of twinkling lights and festive decorations. Create cherished memories that will last a lifetime on this unforgettable train adventure that captures the spirit of the holidays. Booking information at leadvillerailroad.com.
Experience the difference at Mountain Market and Supply. We source organic and local produce, honey, good food, and gifts from small businesses right here in Colorado and beyond. Located at 201 Broadway Street in Eagle, shop in-store Tuesday through Friday from 12 to 6 p.m., Saturday 11 to 4 p.m., and Sunday 11 to 3 p.m. Support our community by shopping local. We can't wait to see you at Mountain Market and Supply.
Join host Madison Brown as she visits with guests ranging from country star Toby Keith to magician Tommy Wynn. Explores the kitchen from cake decorating to cooking Hawaiian style, all while exploring unique locations across the country. Check your local listings and tune in.
Good Morning Vail.
We are back with more on the show. Now, we love having Billy Doran on the show. He is with Museum at Dinosaur Junction, but he was once a legend here at TV8 and actually hosted with us for many years. And now he's teaching everyone in the community all things dinosaur and history. We had the opportunity to catch up with him several times this year, so let's go take a look at one of those episodes.
We are standing here with local legend and local paleontologist Billy Doran with the Dinosaur Museum.
Museum at Dinosaur Junction.
See, I knew it was something great, though.
You're practically there, Maddie. You're practically there.
I was so close. But you gave me a small little tour before the interview started. Now, this is one of these hidden gems in our community. This is a nonprofit that really was brought by Eagle County and you collaborating together.
Yes, it was. It was kind of one of those situations where Mother Nature said, "Oh, you want to find some cool fossils? Well, there you go. Now you got to do something with it all." So that's where the museum came from. We call it the Museum at Dinosaur Junction because most of the stuff that we found in this area is from an area down the road. I can't say exactly where it is, but we've coined it, we've nicknamed it Dinosaur Junction over the years because there's so much stuff there. And it's not just a couple dinosaurs, it's stuff that spans about 170 million years of the dinosaur time, and we found upwards of 10 to 12 different stuff in that area. So that's why we call it the Museum at Dinosaur Junction. But as you mentioned, we are a nonprofit. It's very much focused on Eagle County. In fact, as we walk around, I can tell you right now about 80% of what's in here, so almost everything I have found in this immediate area in Eagle County. So it's a real kind of cool peek back into the ancient prehistoric time of Eagle County.
I was just going to say, not only are we taking a look back in history that everyone knows and loves because dinosaurs are kind of the coolest thing ever.
They're pretty wild.
It's spectacular to be in here.
It's funny because a lot of parents will ask me, because every kid and every parent out there knows every kid is obsessed with dinosaurs at some point.
Yes.
They're like, why is that? And I think, and this goes with adults as well, dinosaurs are that bridge between fantasy and reality.
Yes.
I mean, if you were to try to describe someone a Tyrannosaurus Rex, an animal that was 40 feet long and weighed upwards of 25 to 30,000 pounds that could eat an elephant, that's something out of a horror movie. Yeah. But that animal lived here. It lived here in Colorado, you know? So I think it's that fascination for things that seem so fantasy and seem so unreal, but yet, as you said, they were here. They were stomping around.
Which then you get a rich part of our history as a community since you did find them here. So as we're kind of hyping this up and people are getting excited about the dinosaurs and what you found here in Eagle County, why don't we take a nice little tour?
Let's take a look. We'll come down this way. The museum's set up pretty easily. It's very elementary. There's basically 3 periods of the dinosaurs that they existed. The beginning is the Triassic time, when dinosaurs first show up on Earth and in Colorado, and that's about 230 million years ago. At the same time, crocodiles first show up. Wow. So crocodiles and dinosaurs live side by side. They're not the same animal, but they were here in Colorado. In fact, I've found fossils from massive crocodiles here in Eagle County. Wow. So yeah, we had some huge crocs walking around. But the Triassic time, this kind of shows you a little bit. One thing that did not exist for most of the time of the dinosaurs, Maddie, is where we live and celebrate, and that's the Rocky Mountains.
Right.
They were not here. There would have been some little hills, some small little uplifts here and there, but basically Colorado for the majority of the Triassic time would have been very much like the Sahara Desert. Rolling sand dunes as far as we can see, fairly arid and dry. There was some water moving around. Animals are relatively small. This is also a time when Earth is looking pretty unique because we don't have all the different continents. Right. We don't have North America, South America, Australia, Africa, Europe, etc. It's one supercontinent called Pangaea. And of course, things that are big, in order for them to turn into pieces, they have to break apart. Right. Only the Earth breaking apart is not something you want to be involved in. So, needless to say, about 200 million years ago, when the Triassic period, chapter 1, kind of comes to a close, that's because Pangaea starts to rip apart. And almost, I think somewhere in the neighborhood of 80% of every living thing on Earth dies. Wow. Not just the new dinosaurs and crocodiles, but animals in the oceans, plants, insects, insects which make up a massive population of the Earth. That many things pass away. They just get annihilated when that happens. But that also allows us a time for renewal and change. And we go from the Triassic to the Jurassic. Now, of course, everyone knows that name from the movies, Jurassic Park, Jurassic World. This is probably one of my favorite time periods, Maddie, because this is when dinosaurs get gigantic. It's the Jurassic time, which was about 200 million years ago to about 145 million years ago, and this is when they get truly massive. They become the largest things to ever walk the planet. They literally take over everywhere. They're living all over the different continents, that as the continents are slowly, the very, very brand new continents, as they're making their way across the Earth, these guys are proliferating and they're living in every possible spot.
And they're evolving.
They're evolving
constant
quick.
Evolution, yes.
This is also a time where that evolution really kicks in high gear and they start to take over everywhere. And we get all the, not so much these, including these massive giant long necks, but we get the things that have
huge mouths full of massive teeth, giant claws, spikes, plates. You know, I mean, one of the most famous dinosaurs, which we'll see as we walk around, Stegosaurus.
Yes.
The big plates on his back, the spikes on his tail, which was about a 30-foot animal. It weighed in the neighborhood of 15,000 pounds, maybe, give or take. Colorado State Fossil, we have found footprints from those in this area. So those were very bizarre animals, and they lived here in Eagle County.
Which is so incredible and such a unique piece of our history, and something that I think you blow a lot of people's mind with as you talk about it, because I didn't honestly know this until I got to spend some time with you here before. And I think it's fascinating to hear as the evolution of the dinosaurs and Pangea breaking apart and separating and just what transpired. And this is a great way to learn. Now, we have to bring them up only because I've been obsessed since we got here with my girl Tilly, and we've got Erwin behind us. Now, why are these such a crucial part of the museum? And what's so unique about showing them?
Well, just like these guys, Tilly is a sulcata tortoise, also called an African spurfoot tortoise. She's about 2 years old, and Maddie, she's going to reach about 80 years old one day. She's going to be about 200 pounds, and it's funny because everyone's like, well, Billy, what are you going to do with her when she's that big? And I don't have to worry about that because I'm not going to be around most likely. Hopefully she'll still be living here at the museum, and the museum will be a much bigger, more established spot. But Tilly, along with Erwin, our blue iguana up here, of course, they're both reptiles, as were dinosaurs. Dinosaurs were a very unique type of reptile. But these guys are really terrific at giving, especially kids, but even adults, the chance to look at something like Erwin, who has these big spikes all over his neck and back and big scales and jowls on his face. When you look at him and look at some of these dinosaur skulls, his skull does not look a whole lot different than some of these guys' skulls.
Right.
So now a kid or even adult can look at these and go, well, maybe they had big flaps of skin. Maybe they had big scales. Maybe they had these big spikes all over their necks and back, because those things don't last. All those things I just named, those are like keratin, they're fingernails, so it disappears,
Which is so cool and such a great way to involve kind of modern living creatures with these prehistoric.
Exactly.
And then
plus they're just so cute. I mean, look at Tilly.
I know, I'm smitten. Tilly has me so smitten in here.
Tilly just steals all the girls' hearts. She is very, very cute. So things continue to change. We'll get through this. So Jurassic time, we still have one more chapter. Chapter 3 is the Cretaceous. So the Jurassic ends. It's not as violent as Pangea. The climate's changing, but needless to say, at the end of the Jurassic, a lot of these massive animals that we all know, Stegosaurus, Allosaurus, the big long necks, they all go extinct. They disappear from ancient Colorado, but now we have new locals. This is a time of Tyrannosaurus rex, who is a Colorado dinosaur.
Wow.
We have Triceratops with the massive horns, also Colorado. We have raptors. But one of the most unique things that happened at this time, Maddie, if we could move right down here, the climate is getting very hot during this time.
Right.
And of course, as the Earth heats up, we're seeing this nowadays, we're getting a massive melt of ice, of permafrost, of snow all over the world. Well, when this happened, every bit of ice and snow in the whole world melted, all of it. And for those of you who might not realize this, if you were to go to sleep tonight and all the ice and snow in the entire world melted, when you woke up tomorrow, the oceans of the world would be as high as the Statue of Liberty's left elbow.
So
the elbow she's holding the Book of Freedom in.
A lot of people would be swimming.
A lot of people. We'd have a lot more ocean front probably here in Colorado. But if we look at this picture, these are all animals that lived here. Massive creatures, these huge mosasaurs. These are not dinosaurs, they're ocean reptiles that reach lengths of 60 to 65 feet. This museum's only about 50 feet wide, so they wouldn't even fit in here. Massive sharks used to be swimming here in Eagle County. All kinds of strange creatures. But whatever shows up, eventually things will disappear. And about 70 million years ago, something major happens.
Right.
The Rocky Mountains finally show up. And with that uplift of going from the bottom of the ocean floor to tens of thousands of feet, that combined with a cooling Earth again, and all that water being pulled out and stored as ice and snow all over, those levels drastically changed. And that combined with Rockies that lived during the Cretaceous time, those Rocky Mountains lifted to sometimes 30,000 foot peaks in Colorado.
Wow.
That's higher than Mount Everest.
Yeah.
Imagine Colorado being covered in mountains that are 30,000 feet high. But they did. They took the bottom of the ocean, pushed it to the top. That's why right down the street from where we're here in Edwards, right from where we're standing, right down the street, there's layers of ocean floor right down there. So we're finding shark's teeth. We're finding bones from massive mosasaurs. We're finding these beautiful curled shells from ammonites, the squid-like creatures that used to be swimming right here. So it's incredible because it really gives us that perspective, and in my opinion, gives us that perspective on our own lives. And we realize how fleeting everything is.
I mean, one of my favorite sayings that a history teacher told me is you don't know where you're going unless you know where you've been. And this is a great stepping stone.
It's a great stepping stone.
Into learning where we as a county and where we have been before.
And where we might be going. Who knows, in another 50 million years, these Rocky Mountains could be gone. We might be the bottom of an ocean again right here.
Or the dinosaurs could come back.
And or maybe even weirder things will come back. That's
true.
what's so incredible about science, as I always tell kids, the greatest thing about science, we don't know what someone's going to find tomorrow. And that's thrilling.
That is thrilling. Now, Billy, there are some great ways for people to get involved and to come enjoy the museum here. So let's really briefly talk about that, because we've talked a lot about the dinosaurs, but what if people want to come see the dinosaurs?
As you can tell, I'll just keep going. So our website is dinosaurjunction.org. We are a nonprofit, so dinosaurjunction.org. You can get all the information on that, our hours, when we're open. We do have family memberships. We do have single memberships. We're always taking donations. We have an incredible volunteer staff. We are all volunteer, and they are just outfitted with all kinds of knowledge. So one of the greatest things about this spot, as opposed to maybe some other museums around, is when you come here, you're going to get a personalized service. You're going to be able to talk to someone. If you're walking about and you see something that spurs a question, you can ask one of us, and we're happy to share that knowledge with people. So I think that kind of private, personal service has made us pretty unique. We've been open it'll be 2 years in June. And we're continuing to grow. Our numbers are crazy. We've had thousands of students from classes in Summit County, obviously mainly Eagle County, Garfield County. We've had students from Pitkin County. So we are moving in the right direction. But it's a fantastic museum. It is growing, and we are finding more and more things every spring. The more we find, the more we can put on exhibit here.
Which is so incredible, Billy. Thank you so much for taking the time to
Thanks
chat
for
with
being
us,
here.
walking us around, giving us all this great information, and really loving what you do, because hearing the passion in your voice sparks a curiosity within my inner child to come back and have another tour to finish the other half of the museum.
Well, good. Then my work is done.
Billy, thank you so much.
Thanks
again.
for being here.
Make sure that you come check out the museum, because you're going to fall in love. And if you are lucky enough to have local legend paleontologist Billy walking you through, you're going to fall in love even more with the dinosaurs. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we've got more of the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's a wrap for your Thursday, January 2nd edition of Good Morning Vail. It's been a pleasure joining you this morning. Once again, Happy New Year to you all. I hope you're kicking off your 2025 to a good start. Thank you to all of our guests who joined us during 2024, and we can't wait to keep having everyone on the show during this new year. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Get on out there and enjoy the rest of your day, and we will see you back here tomorrow at 8 a.m. for more Good Morning Vail. Until then, enjoy your day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.
Good morning, Vail. See what lies in store for you. There's so many things to see and do. Summer